yesterday, you have time to complete the sequences and series problems till Monday. So Monday I'll clear your doubts. For today, I'm going to start the next chapter, that is straight lines. Okay. So write down the heading as straight lines. Just a minute. So write it down, chapter 10, straight lines. Okay. So before I start this chapter, I want you people to tell me, see, I've actually learned this last year in a different name, with a different name, that's it. So you would have learned, 1 minute. So last year there was a chapter, right, where they asked you to solve the problems graphically. Right, the third chapter of your 10th standard, where they would have asked you to solve the problems graphically. Can you tell me the name of the chapter? What is it? I've written three letters.
Linear equation
In
two variables.
It is linear equation in two variables, right? So do you guys remember that when they asked you to solve the problem graphically, then you would have taken a table, like for example 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. If they ask you to draw the graph, what will you do? You will prepare a table like this and then solve.
Yes,
You remember
sir.
this or not?
Yes, sir.
You do
Yes,
this, right?
sir.
By doing so, you get different coordinates. For example, when you put x is equal to 0, you will get y is equal to 5 by 3. So you got one of the coordinates as 0, 5 by 3. Let's say when you put x is equal to 1, you get y as 3, you will say 1. So you will get the
1.
point as 1, 1. So 0, 5 by 3, 1, 1. If you plot all these things, the shape that you're going to get is a straight line.
Straight line.
Right? So what was the intention? Like what exactly did they mean by asking you to solve the question graphically? So when you try to solve it graphically, you used to get 2 points, 2 lines, and the point where they meet will give you the point of intersection. That is what we call it as solve them graphically. I hope you remember this, right? So the
Yes.
context I want to mainly concentrate on here is any linear equation in two variable. What do you mean by linear equation? What do you mean by linear equation?
The degree is 1.
So the degree of the equation is 1. Linear equation in two variables means you use two variables x, y.
Y.
Right? So you use two variables. That is what is called as linear equation in two variables. But remember, linear equation always represents a straight line. Okay? So linear equation represents a straight line. And that is where we are going to start this chapter. So what I'm going to start with is, I'm going to tell you what is the general equation of a straight line. So what is a straight line? It is a linear equation in two variables, that is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So this is going to be the general equation of straight line. This is the first and the foremost point that you need to know. Okay, ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Make a note of it. Okay, so I hope this point is clear. Right? Now, the question is, when I'm saying that last year you have learned something, then why are we repeating it again? Right? This might be a question that comes in your mind. The point there is, see, they gave you a linear equation in two variables and they would have asked you to solve. If you see, every exercise depends only on that. You can either use substitution method, you'll use elimination method, or cross multiplication method, any of the thing, right? Or when you had word problems, what is that you did? You only tried to solve the linear equation. Tell me, did you ever frame a mathematical equation? Did you ever form a mathematical equation for a straight line? Last year, think about it. Did you ever frame mathematical equation for a straight line? Don't say word problems. Word problems are case specific. Word problems doesn't mean mathematical equations form. Like, did you ever frame equations where they asked you something like this? Find equation of a straight line parallel to x-axis. If they put a question like this, did you ever write the equation?
No, sir.
No, right? So in this chapter, what we are going to do is, we are going to concentrate more on writing the equations under different conditions. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, every straight line in this world will have only this as the general equation. No other option other than that. Ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. It's fixed. Okay. But the question is, each line that is given in the question will follow specific condition. For example, if you look at the question that I've given, the interest in this chapter will be like, find the equation of whom a straight line which is parallel to x-axis. Or I can put a question like this. Find the equation of a straight line which is parallel to y-axis. Or I can put a question like this. Find the equation of a straight line which is passing through the origin and making an angle 45 degrees with the x-axis. You're able to understand? I'm giving you different conditions for which you are expected to frame the equation of a straight line. Okay. So you can ask me the question, is it possible? Yes. So for you to frame the equation of a straight line, what is the first concept that we need to know is slope of a line. So there is a very, very important concept called as slope of a line, which is the basic of forming any equation of straight line in this world. Okay. So let me explain what it means. So this chapter needs a lot of graphical representation. You need to draw them graphically and analyze. Let's say you have x-axis and y-axis. Okay. So if I think of a line like this, right? Then this line is cutting the x-axis at this point, and can I say it is making an angle theta with the x-axis in anti-clockwise direction?
Yes, sir.
Right? So for any line, okay, the first thing that you need to check for is, what is the angle made by that line with whom? What is the angle made? With the
X-axis.
x-axis in which direction?
Anti-clockwise direction.
Anti-clockwise direction. Once you get the answer to this question, like once you put these questions and get the answer for it, then tangent of the angle made by the line with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction called what? Slope of a line. Are you able to understand? So what do you mean by tangent?
A line that intersects at only one distinct point.
No. See, tangent to a curve is different from tangent of an angle. Tangent of an angle is nothing but tan theta.
Side by adjacent side from trigonometry.
Meenakshi, I'm not able to hear you. Can you come a little close to the mic and speak?
Sir, from trigonometry, it's opposite side by adjacent side.
That's right. Yeah. So here we are speaking in terms of trigonometry. Rohan, try to understand. Wherever you see tangent, it doesn't mean it is a line which is touching the curve at one point. So where there is a word tangent coming, you have to see what is the subsequent word. If they're speaking about tangent of an angle, it is tan theta. If they're speaking like tangent to a curve, then what you told is right. Okay, so in
Alright,
this
sir.
context, it is a tangent of the angle. Okay, so make a note of it. So please write it down, guys. So this is the basic tangent of the angle made by the line with the x-axis in anti-clockwise direction is called slope of a line. Okay. Next point. Just give me 2 minutes, okay? The charge in my pencil is over. Just give me 2 minutes. If you have textbook, you can just go through this concept. Yeah. So we can get started. So I was speaking about tangent of angle, right? Tan theta, right? Now listen. It is represented by the symbol. Yeah. So in this chapter, we will be using the symbol M for representing slope. By the way, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's what is going to happen. So what we can conclude is M is equal to tan theta. So this is going to be the formula for slope. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay. So first, slope of x-axis or a line parallel to x-axis is how much? So for you to define the slope, what are the two questions you need to ask? What is the angle made by that line with whom? With the x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. So what is the angle made by the x-axis with itself in the anti-clockwise direction?
0 degrees, sir.
0
0
degree.
degrees. So that will be tan 0 and the answer will be 0. So remember this point, okay? I'll not tell again and again. Slope of a line, a slope of x-axis or any line which is parallel to x-axis will have 0 slope. Okay? Similarly, slope of y-axis or a line parallel to y-axis is what? Tan. So how much is the angle made by the line with the y-axis with the
90,
x-axis?
sir.
90
So it will be
degrees.
tan 90. That will be
Undefined.
so it is not defined. Okay. So these are two important basic points to be kept in mind, which are used in many problems also. So make a note of this. Okay. So till now, if you see, we try to define the slope in terms of trigonometry, that is tan theta. Because for you to define the slope, you need the angle. But it is not possible that you know every angle with respect to trigonometry, right? If suddenly I ask you what is tan 28 degrees, we don't have an answer for it. So it is advisable for us to find an alternate solution to slope instead of using trigonometry always. So that is why what we are going to do is we will take the help of coordinate geometry. Okay. So we are going to see the slope of a line passing through 2 points. So tell me one thing. If basically you need to draw a line, okay, what are the minimum number of points that are required?
2 lines, 2 points.
So minimum is 2 points, maximum will be infinite points you need. So that is why if you see, we are trying to define the slope of a line which is passing through 2 points. Means I can rather change the topic like this. Passing through 2 given points. Passing through 2 given points. So what is the meaning of this? Given points means those 2 points values of x coordinate and y coordinate of both the points are known to us. Okay. So try to visualize. Now I'm taking a coordinate axis like this. X and y. See, for understanding purpose, I'm taking in first quadrant. Not necessary it has to be only in first quadrant. So don't have that misconception. It is only for you to understand. Now I'm taking a line like this. Okay. So this line is getting extended in both the directions. Accepted? So this line is making an angle theta with the x-axis. Let me say the coordinate of this point is x1 comma y1 and the coordinate of this point is x2 comma y2. Am I right? So when you drop the perpendicular here, tell me what is the distance from the origin to the foot of the perpendicular along x direction? So what is this distance that I have taken? let me take this point as
One.
A.
X1, sir.
That's right. So x1. Similarly, if I drop a perpendicular from B to x-axis, let me call this point as Q, then what is this distance?
X2.
Very good. It is x2. Right. Similarly, what is AP? If I drop a perpendicular, this distance is,
Y1.
so let me call this as y1. Similarly, this will be
Y2.
very good. So when I drop a perpendicular like this, so I've completed a triangle. The reason why I completed a triangle is because what is slope related to? Slope is related to tan theta. Tan is a trigonometric function. So for you to solve any trigonometric function, what kind of a triangle is required?
Right
Right
angle
angle
triangle.
triangle.
You need a right angle triangle. That is why if you see from A, I've dropped a perpendicular onto the line BQ. Okay. So if this angle is theta, then what will this angle be?
Eta.
It is same theta, corresponding angles, right? It is x2. Then what is the distance PQ? So can I say PQ is equal to OQ minus OP? Accepted. So OQ is x2
X2
minus
minus
x2.
X1.
That's right. Similarly, this is A. Let me call this point as M. What is BM? BM is nothing but,
Y2 minus Y1.
that's right, BQ minus MQ. That is Y2 minus Y1. Right. So if I take the triangle, which triangle? BMA. If I take the triangle BMA, what is tan theta equal to? BM divided by MA. So what is BM? Y2 minus
Y2
Y1
minus
divided by
Y1.
x2
X2
minus
minus
x1.
X1.
But according to definition, what is tan theta? That is the slope. So if 2 points are given to you, which has the coordinates x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2 respectively, what is the slope of the line?
Difference in y coordinates by difference in x coordinates.
Yes, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This can be written as delta y divided by delta x. Delta generally stands for difference. Okay, you can ask me a question. Is it only y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1? The answer is it can also be written as y1 minus y2 by x1 minus x2. So one important point to be kept in your mind is if you're doing y1 minus y2, denominator also should start with 1. So it is 1 minus 2 divided by 1 minus 2. If it is 2 minus 1, denominator also should be 2 minus 1. Generally, this is the one which is given in book, but you can use this also. The second point I explained only for your understanding purpose. Mostly in your schools, they will expect you to write it as y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 only. I hope that point is clear. There is no confusion, right?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So make a note of it. So from where should I show? Is this page okay? Right? Shall I proceed to the next concept? Shall I proceed? Okay. Listen, we will do some problems which are based on this topic. Okay. Listen. So the topic is the question number 1 in your textbook is find the slope of the lines passing through the points 3 comma minus 2 and minus 1 comma 4. So solution here is for A, what are the given points? 3 comma minus 2 and minus 1 comma 4. So slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. That is 4 minus of minus 2 divided by minus 1 minus 3. So 4 minus of minus 2 is 6 divided by minus 3 is just 4. So minus 3 by 2 will be the required slope. I hope it is clear. So for B, the given points are 3 comma minus 2 and 7 comma minus 2. What is slope? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Answer will be 0. So since the slope is 0, this will be a line parallel to whom?
X-axis.
See, I told you x-axis itself has slope 0 and line parallel to x-axis also has slope 0, right? Why did I only say that this is a line parallel to x-axis? Why not it can pass through x-axis?
So since the points are given minus 3 and 7 instead of 0.
Yes. I'm able to understand. Can you be more clear on that? I'm
It
able to
doesn't
get
pass
what.
through origin.
No. How do you know it is passing through origin or not? Not necessary that every time they should give you origin. See, had the line been x-axis, it would have been 3 comma 0 and 7 comma 0. But what is the y-coordinate? Y-coordinate is a non-zero value. That is why it is only a line which is parallel to x-axis. Are you able to understand this? Because when you have x-axis, how will you take the point on x-axis? A comma 0, B comma 0, because any point on the x-axis will have 0 y-coordinate or the y-coordinate as 0. Correct? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Good. So solve this problem, see. 4 minus of minus 2. I'm directly writing it, okay? 3 minus 3. Answer will be infinity. So slope of which line is infinity?
Parallel to y-axis.
Why parallel to y-axis? Why not y-axis?
Because x-coordinates are given.
Yes, x-coordinates are non-zero values. You should not say x-coordinates are given. You should say x-coordinates are non-zero values. That is why it is parallel to y-axis. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Last point. Making inclination of 60 degrees with the x-axis in the positive direction of it. So positive direction means anti-clockwise. That is the meaning. Okay. So making inclination of 60 degrees. So slope is tan 60. Tan 60 is root 3. That's the answer. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shall we move on to the next one? Let's see. Okay. So the first question was based on finding the slope of a line. The next concept that I need to explain you is angle between two lines whose slopes are given. Okay. So listen. x-axis, y-axis. Let's say there is one line like this. There is another line like this. Okay. Let's say slope of the first line is m1, slope of the second line is m2. They might meet, they might not meet. That is not our point of concern. Okay. Now see. This angle should be theta 1. If I take this angle as theta 1, then m1 is tan theta 1 accepted. Because the slope made by the first line is tan of the angle made by it with the x-axis. M2 is tan theta 2 accepted. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's wrong. Why? Why is it wrong?
Sir,
what
this
did I
is
say?
clockwise, sir.
That's
It should be an-
perfect. You need to concentrate on these kind of minute details. Very good. The angle that I've considered is actually a clockwise one. What did I say? From the positive x-axis, you need to take an anti-clockwise angle. So what is the angle made by it? That angle will be theta. Theta 2. Okay. I hope you guys understood. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
theta 2.
Yes, sir.
This is theta. Now I can write m2 is theta 2. M2 is tan theta 2. Okay. Now when I say angle between the lines, angle means what? How can you rotate one line with respect to another? That is the meaning. Angle itself means rotation of one line with respect to other. Okay. If that is the case, if I take this angle as alpha, observe this. Okay. So this is line number 1. This is line number 2. If there is any confusion, please let me know. So line number 1 and line number 2, I am trying to define an angle alpha. Is that the only angle I can define? So angle between the lines can either be alpha or, observe, I'm going to take another angle. Then what will this angle be?
180 minus
minus
alpha.
alpha.
Very good. It will be 180 minus alpha because it's a supplementary pair. Right? So alpha and 180 minus alpha. So what will be the other two angles? Obviously, I need not worry about it because if the above angle is alpha, this will also be alpha, vertically opposite. Similarly, if the other angle is 180 minus alpha, this will also be 180 minus alpha. So what is the conclusion we can draw from here? When we speak about the angle between two lines whose slopes are known, how many angles can we define?
Two
You can
angles,
define
sir.
two
Two
angles. What are the
angles.
two angles?
Alpha
One
and
angle is
180 minus alpha.
180 minus alpha, where if alpha is acute, 180 minus alpha will be obtuse,
Use.
or the vice versa. In the sense, if alpha is obtuse, 180 minus alpha would have been acute. So there will be one acute angle and one obtuse angle. At least with respect to the way I have drawn the current diagram, I can say alpha is acute angle and 180 minus alpha is obtuse angle. I hope that point has got registered in your mind. Yes or no? Because there is again an important point. The usage of this is there in the fourth exercise. I mean, you have it in the first exercise, but a deep application of it is in the fourth exercise. You should be clear. Am I clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm proceeding. See, listen. So I'm taking certain points. Listen, I'm showing you the derivation. Let the slope of line 1 be m1, which is nothing but tan theta 1. Similarly, slope of L2 be m2, which is tan theta 2. Okay. Now observe. If I take this point as A, B, and C, if I draw a separate diagram of ABC, okay, so it forms a triangle like this. A, A, B, and C. This angle is how much? Now I'm going to take only the magnitude because I have a clear understanding of my directions. I've defined tan theta 2. So now I'm going to be concerned only about the values. So how much is the angle that I considered now? So what is angle BAC?
Theta
Theta
1.
1. What is angle BCA? It is going to be theta 2 externally. It is not internal. Accepted? Similarly, if, listen, I'm drawing it with red color. Observe, if this angle is alpha, the vertically opposite angle is also alpha. So if I take the same thing here, the interior angle, that is angle ABC, is going to be alpha. Accepted? Now see. Now what I'm going to do is, what is the relation between exterior angle and opposite interior angles?
Sum
We
of
know
the
that.
opposite interior angles equal to
Interior angle
Yeah.
is equal to the exterior angle.
So theta 1 plus alpha, can I take it like this? That's right. So which implies alpha will be equal to theta 2 minus theta 1. Correct? Now tell me,
Yes.
which trigonometric function speaks about slope with respect to angles? It is tan. Okay. And that is the reason why I am taking tan on both sides. If I take tan on both sides, it will be tan alpha is equal to tan of theta 2 minus theta 1. Correct? So tan alpha is equal to, what is tan A minus B formula? It is tan A minus tan B, the whole divided by 1 plus tan A tan B. Correct? Tan A minus tan B divided by 1 plus tan A tan B. Okay. So this will be equal to, what is tan theta 2? That is M2, slope of the second line. Minus, what is tan theta 1? Slope of the
M1.
first line. By 1 plus M2 into M1 is tan alpha. Right? Then what will tan 180 minus alpha be? It will be minus of this value. Because tan 180 minus alpha is minus tan alpha. We know this, right? From the third chapter, tan 180 minus alpha is in the second quadrant. So tan 180 minus alpha will be minus tan alpha. Because in second quadrant, tan is negative. I hope you guys remember this, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
as I told you, there are two important points. Tan of alpha, then tan, why did I find 180 minus alpha? Because between lines, you can define two angles, alpha and 180 minus alpha. So when you do this, then the general formula for angle between two lines of given slopes is how much? Tan alpha, which is tan alpha is equal to plus or minus m2 minus m1 divided by 1 plus m1 into m2. Why I wrote it as plus or minus is because I don't know whether alpha is going to be acute angle or obtuse angle. When it is acute, you will get a positive value. When it is obtuse, you are going to get a negative value. But both the values are possible. Okay. So generally, plus or minus means modulus. Modulus of m2 minus m1 divided by 1 plus m1 into m2 is what is tan alpha. So this is going to be the formula for the angle between two lines. Tan alpha is equal to m2 minus m1 by 1 plus m1 m2. Is there any doubt? You have to have a clarity on this because the next problem we are going to solve is based on this.
So, sir, why we'll take the magnitudes at the end?
Magnitude, no. See, modulus, whenever you remove modulus, no, it is actually plus or minus 2. Plus or minus something. Do one thing, no, you write it down. I'll tell you how to solve the problem. I'll explain it in detail while solving the problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay, write it. So from where should I display? Where should I show? This is page fine. .
Yes, sir.
No. Wait. Okay. So if you have copied this, we'll go to the problem directly. Listen. If the angle between two lines is pi by 4, so what have they given? Given alpha is pi by 4. And slope of one of the lines is 1 by 2. And let's say M1 is 1 by 2. I don't know which line. So I'm generally taking it as M2, M1. Then they're asking what is M2. Find slope of the other line. Is it clear? So what is the formula we know? Tan alpha is equal to, don't forget modulus of M2 minus M1 divided by 1 plus M1 M2. So what is tan alpha? Tan of pi by 4 is equal to, so this is the formula, guys. Okay. Whenever you are removing the modulus, you should use a plus or minus. Plus or minus of what? M2 minus M1. M2 is unknown. Let M2 be M. So it is M minus half divided by 1 plus M by 2. Accepted?
Sir.
So it is plus or minus 2M minus 1 divided by 2 plus M is tan pi by 4. That is 1. So what you need to do in this case is, we need to take 1 is equal to 2M minus 1 divided by 2 plus M, or 1 is equal to minus of 2M minus 1 divided by 2 plus M. So what I'm trying to say from here is, there are two such lines possible which will intersect with the line whose slope is half to make an angle of pi by 4. There will be two lines possible. Generally what will we think is, what we will think is, there is only one line possible. No, there are two lines that are possible. Now observe. So 2 plus M will be equal to 2M minus 1, which implies 3 will be equal to M. Means the slope of the other line can be 3, or 2 plus M will be equal to minus 2M plus 1. That means 3M will be equal to minus 1. Okay. So there are two such lines possible which are going to make an angle of pi by 4 with the line whose slope is half. Am I clear on this or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make a note of it. Shall we go to the next problem? So before we go to the next problem, one more important point I would like to mention is, write a note. If two lines are first parallel to each other, then if two lines are parallel to each other, then what is the value of alpha? It is 0 degrees.
0 degree.
So if you take 0 and substitute it in the above expression, which implies tan 0 degrees is equal to mod of M2 minus M1 divided by 1 plus M1 M2. So tan 0 is 0. So which implies M2 minus M1 is 0. Which implies M2 is equal to M1. What is that you're able to understand? So if two lines are parallel to each other, then their slopes are
Equal.
Equal.
equal. Similarly, what is the other condition that is possible? Perpendicular to each other. Then what will happen? If two lines are perpendicular to each other, alpha will be 90 degrees and tan 90 will be equal to mod of m2 minus m1 divided by 1 plus m1 m2. Right? So what is tan 90? It's not
Undefined.
defined. So m2 minus m1 by 1 plus m1 m2. So if something is not defined is equal to a by b means what should be equal to 0? The denominator should be equal to 0, which implies 1 plus m1 m2 will be equal to 0. So what can we conclude from this? m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1. So the important point to be noted from here is when two lines are perpendicular to each other, the product of their slope is how much? When two lines are perpendicular to each other, the product of their slopes is minus 1. So product of slopes is minus 1. Clear? So I hope you made a note of it. I hope you made a note of this, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reason why I explained this is, observe this problem. So what are the two values of m for the other line that we got? 3 and minus 1 by 3. Just multiply those two values and see. No?
They are perpendicular to each other.
They are perpendicular. Means, see, if I'll try to show you diagrammatically. Please understand. I'll show you what is the actual meaning of this question. So if the angle between two lines is pi by 4 and slope of one of the lines is 1 by 2, find the slope of the other line. So what is the slope given for one line? So one of the lines definitely has a slope of 1 by 2. Okay. So I'm just telling you the method to think. See, what is tan 0? 0. Tan pi by 6, that is tan 30 degrees, 1 by root 3. Tan pi by 4 is 1. So when you go from 0 to pi by 4, what is happening? Is the value of tan increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Increasing, right? So what is the value they have given? Slope of one line. So tan of some angle theta 1 is equal to 1 by 2. Means where will this value be? 1 by 2 is how much? 1 by 2 is 0.5. Right? So 1 by root 3 is nothing but root 3 by 3. Root 3 by 3 is 1.7 by 3. This is somewhere around 0.6. So what I'm trying to say here is tan theta 1 is 0.5 means can I say theta 1 will be less than 30 degrees? Are you able to visualize this point?
Yes, sir.
So the line that they have given is actually making an angle of how much value with the x-axis? It is actually making some angle less than 30 degrees. Let's say it is 25 degrees. I don't know what the value is. Let's say it is some 25 degrees. So this is the line with the slope half. So they're asking what is the other line that is possible where it makes an angle of how much with this line? (45 degrees). If suppose the other line is in this way. If suppose I say L2 is in this way, then the slope here, if it is 3, okay, then this angle could have been pi by 4. Are you able to understand this point? So because we got m is equal to 3, no? M is equal to 3, then the angle between the line whose slope is m is equal to 3 and m is equal to half is how much? Pi by 4 according to the question. Then the other line which can make the same angle pi by 4 with this could have been Wait, I'll use another color. So what will this blue color line be?
Perpendicular, sir.
It is perpendicular to whom? It is perpendicular to the red line or black line? Black line is the given
Red
line.
line. Red
It is
line.
perpendicular to the red line. Okay. So either this line could have made an angle of pi by 4, or m is equal to minus 1 by 3 could have made an angle of pi by 4. That is why here you are getting two answers. See, I know it is slightly difficult for you to visualize at this point, but why I explain this, if you start visualizing in this way, this chapter is very easy. At least make an attempt to do this. I'm sure that CBSE doesn't expect this, but you can at least make an attempt so that you're comfortable with this chapter. Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say? So here, this angle will be 90 degrees. Am I clear with this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is what happens. Okay. We'll do one last problem. So line through the points minus 2, 6 and 4, 8 is perpendicular to the line through the points 8, 12 and x, 24. Find the value of x. It's very easy. So wherever they have told that the line is passing through two given points, indirectly they have given you the slope. Okay. So solution for this point is, if I take this point as A and B, let's say C and D, slope of AB is how much? 8 minus 6 divided by 4 plus 2. So 2 divided by 6, which would be 1 by 3. Similarly, what is slope of CD? 24 minus 12 divided by x minus 8. That will be 12 divided by x minus 8. So what is the relation between them? AB and CD? No, they are perpendicular, no?
Okay, sir.
Perpendicular, no? So since perpendicular, slope of AB into slope of CD will be how much? Minus 1. So that is 1 by 3 into 12 divided by x minus 8 will be equal to minus 1. This will cancel 4 times. So 4 is equal to minus x plus 8, which implies x is equal to . So the x coordinate of the line which is perpendicular to AB. So x coordinate of D. Okay. So the x coordinate of D for CD to be perpendicular to AB is 4. I hope it is clear. This is a simple problem actually. Okay. So we can actually stop with this. Next class I will continue. I'll explain some more points related to collinearity and everything. Then we can solve. Till then what you can do is you can work on which chapter? Sequences and series. You have pending work of 9.2, 9.3. I'm adding miscellaneous also. So try to work on these 3 and next class I will clear your doubts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Make a note of this. Wait for a minute, don't leave.